Hello and welcome back. Today, if you are in nesting season, you are going to love this very fun episode. We are going to be talking about how to supercharge your nesting so that the energy of your home feels just so peaceful, so harmonious, so joyful and ready as you welcome your new baby. So this conversation is not going to be your typical nesting conversation. Yes, I'll be talking a little bit about some tips to help organize things, but what I'm going to be layering in here is a really fun piece around energy. So we don't typically talk about tidying related to energy, but it is so valuable because what you are actually doing, and we can even get right into the episode, because I'm going to be talking about the spiritual meaning behind nesting and how to supercharge the energy of your home to be ready and primed for a peaceful beginning with baby. And I'm going to be talking about two different ways that you can supercharge your home. And when you pair them together, you are just so well supported for an incredible beginning with your baby. So let's dive into it. So what do I mean when I say there's like a spiritual meaning to nesting? Nesting is really interesting, isn't it? Because I find it normally kicks in, and it's different for everyone, but around like the 30-ish weeks in pregnancy, sometimes in your 20-something weeks. But while you still, it's beautiful because it's while you still have that good second or early third trimester energy. So you actually have the energy to nest. And I find it amplifies. And if you're like, oh my gosh, why is it so early? It's on purpose. You have the energy, you have the space, you have the desire to start preparing for baby. You can see how it's like such a biologically protective, beautiful instinct that just comes through. So embrace it, allow it. It can be really fun. And honestly, like, what a beautiful way, what a beautiful reason to refresh your home a little bit now that you're making space for another one. And the spiritual meaning of it, I find, because it does amplify in your second and third trimester for most of us, but then it tapers down at the end. Your nesting instincts go down. You want to be more inward. You want to be more cozy in your home. So that's like something to expect later. But in pregnancy, and tell me if this is true for you, I think it's true for all of us, things get brought up. Things get brought to our attention to tidy. It could be physically our home. It could be that junk drawer that has just been building up for years that all of a sudden now it's always kind of lingered and driven you crazy under the surface, but it's just fine. Life's just going on. But for some reason now it's like, I cannot go another day, another minute, another hour without cleaning out this junk drawer. And I think there's a spiritual reason for that. I think pregnancy is a time that brings to our attention the things that need our attention to clear out the clutter, make space for what's coming, and move forward from a more aligned, intentional place. That's how also I always view anxiety in pregnancy. If it comes up in your first trimester, which it does in some ways for most of us, or if it does in other ways throughout pregnancy, I'm like, okay, this is happening for a reason. It's an opportunity to look at it, rewire it, be a bit proactive around it, clear out some mental space as well. So that's a little bit of sneak peek for my second pointer. But first, I want to dive into the very first way to supercharge your home. And I totally wish that I had this. Or I wish I had this knowledge in my first pregnancy when my nesting instincts went wild. Like, so wild that, yes, I cleaned out the junk drawer. Also every closet. And I even went through and organized every single tool in our storage room. Like, labeled and sorted the tools. The baby is going to have nothing to do with the tools. The baby is going to be nowhere near the tools. It's on a completely different floor than the baby would ever be on because we had an unfinished basement at the time. Yet, to prepare for baby, I needed to organize the tools. Like, this is how strong this edge was. And lately, I'm like years into motherhood now, okay? And for those who I haven't met, my name's Emma. I actually support mums through pregnancy and postpartum by helping them prepare for the newborn stage themselves and take care of themselves really well through it on like mental, emotional, energetic, nervous system layers. I just help you feel like you, more like you through this transition and actually into your best self yet. And so I help mums do this now, but I'm like 5 and 7 years almost postpartum with my 2 little babies. Yet I have been going through a season of clearing and tidying and decluttering in my own home. And so it sparked this idea for this episode, which I thought would be so relevant to you. And I'm like, this is genius to apply this to postpartum. And the method that I have been using, I picked up this book from my mum's bookshelf, actually by accident. I thought I reached for and grabbed another book, but when I looked at the book in my hands, it was not the one I reached for, it was this one. And I'm like, okay, this is a sign that maybe I need to read this book. And it sucked me in and I just absolutely loved it. It's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. You may have seen her Netflix show, but I have been using and taken to heart and gone through her method to a T. And her method is so different because it's not how we typically organize, or it's not how we typically tidy. There's an identity shift that she guides us through, which is what I wanted. I'm like, I just want the identity of someone, I just want to have a clean, peaceful home, because how nice is it, honestly, when your environment is like calm and clean? And that's like not really the way that I grew up. We had a busy household on a farm, and my mum was like an entrepreneur and also a nurse, and my dad was busy on the farm, and I had 2 little brothers, and my grandfather lived with us, and it was like happy clutter, and toy clutter is good energy, so that's nice. But I've always loved when my space is tidy, but I have never been able to actually keep it tidy very long myself. And so anyway, I went on this whole journey, and I want to share the best tips that are going to help you shift the energy of your home as you declutter, and some of the best tips that I learned from Marie Kondo in her book. And I would highly recommend picking it up. But I want to give you the basics so you can get started today if you're not in the mood to read a book right now, because I think they're going to really help you with nesting. So, okay, the first thing, like I said, like I alluded to, it's not like going through closet by closet or room by room like we would typically tidy, or that's how I would tidy. It wasn't like, oh, that junk drawer is overwhelming, I need to clean that junk drawer. No, she actually has you go through by different categories and tidy in a certain order. And there's a psychological reason that she gets you to do that. And it's because when you do it in order, so the first thing, for example, is clothes. You're supposed to get all of your clothes from the front hall closet, from your bedroom closet, from the laundry room, from wherever there's clothes, maybe you have a sweater in your car, you get everything, you put it in a pile, and there's something psychologically that happens when you see this pile in front of you, rather than say going through your closet and being like, don't really wear that anymore, and doing it that way, which I had actually done that way of cleaning 6 months ago and it didn't stick. But this way has stuck for, I'm a couple months in now, my closet has stayed spotless since. So there's an identity shift that happens with truly the life-changing magic of tidying up, and it is this magical thing. So this is the order that she suggests you go through. She's like, the best sequence is this: clothes first, then books, then papers. So I've done all of those already. Then kimono, which is a term for miscellaneous things. And lastly, mementos, those sentimental items last, and there's a purpose for doing it last, and it's because those are the hardest to get rid of usually, or part with. But by literally handling hundreds, if not thousands of items, and going through her process, which I'll just explain quickly in a minute, you are so well versed at knowing what's for you for this season and what's not, that it's just going to be easier to get rid of those things. So clothes first. And her technique is so simple, it's so intuitive, so beautiful, and probably different than how you've normally decided if you're going to keep or get rid of outfits in the past. Because like I said, before I would go into my closet and I'd be like, okay, do I use this? Do I wear this? And then if the answer was no, or if I hadn't worn it for a while or for a year or more or whatever, then get rid of it. But Marie Kondo gets you to like hold the item to your heart and kind of like intuitively communicate with it or your feelings about it, and just simply ask, does this spark joy? Does this bring me joy? And you listen to your heart, like you listen if there's like a little flutter or like a little spark. And if you get like a yes, you keep it. And if you get a no, you donate or get rid of it. So I think this process was so beautiful, and it's totally changed what I have kept around me. Because instead of asking, do I wear this? And asking, does it bring me joy? I realized there are so many clothes that I wore. So I wore it, so I would have kept it by my old method, but they didn't bring me joy anymore. Or maybe they never really brought me joy. Maybe they brought me joy when I first picked it out, but then it never felt that good on, or I just don't like reach for it that much, or I reach for it because it matches those pants, but I don't even really like the pants either. And I got rid of maybe half my closet, maybe more. I think I got rid of probably more, because I think I got rid of like 70 something hangers, like wild. And now my closet feels like a breath of fresh air to go into. There was so much space. My sister-in-law's like, your closet looks luxury, because I have like a purse on display. And I was like, I know. It's just the best energy in there. And that's the secret. I shifted the energy of the space because of the items in this space, and now things that only bring me joy. So you can imagine, and I'm like, oh, this would have been so cool when I was nesting, because I could have gone through those different items in my home and be like, does it spark me joy? And if the answer is yes, what I would end up with is a whole environment, an entire home, and everything in it sparks joy. Like, how abundant is that? How abundant is that? So I want you to take this, use it. Again, you can get the book. I'm not like an affiliate. I don't know Marie Kondo, but I've just been using this process myself. I'm still going through it. I'm in the miscellaneous section. But try it when you're nesting, and try it by those categories. So again, clothes, then books, then papers, then miscellaneous things. So miscellaneous things, like for me, I have like toys, right? I have home decor as a whole section. I had like all these travel mugs. Like now I'm like going through my pantry, like, yeah. And then lastly, mementos. I haven't done that part yet, but I know that I'm like practicing and building myself up to get to that. So try that. Tell me how it goes. That is going to supercharge the energy of your home to be way more joyful because of the energetic shift you've done. So that's tip number 1. Are you ready for tip number 2? This one actually has to do with supercharging the energy of your home by supercharging the energy of you. So you can have a beautiful home, but you need to look after, like I said at the beginning, be aware of the things coming up in pregnancy, because they are coming up for a reason. They are not coming up to freak you out. If you're anxious about something, if you're nervous about something, about postpartum, if you're worried about what things are going to look and feel like with a new baby, or how you're going to figure it all out, or how you're going to handle the sleepless nights, like whatever it is that is going on in your head, if there's anything you're nervous about, or if anxiety has increased for you now in pregnancy, or symptoms of depression, or whatever it is for you that's coming up in this pregnancy, I believe it is coming up spiritually for a reason. And I believe it is an excellent opportunity for you, a little gift from God, gift from the universe, to look at what is coming up for you and ask God for help, allow and support, whatever, do it intuitively on your own, you'll know, to move through it, to clear some space. So it's an opportunity for you to clear more mental space. So I have like written down here, if there's mental clutter coming up, noise, clear it out in pregnancy. Just like you're clearing out and nesting your home. If you have anxiety, start clearing it, start rewiring it. And yes, that is possible in pregnancy. Be proactive around it, so that it's not something that becomes a bigger issue postpartum. And that's one of the reasons I think it comes up in pregnancy is we have this time where we have this maternal instinct to nest. Like we just have that. It comes up. And we're literally growing a human, but we're also like growing ourselves. We are becoming mothers or becoming mothers again. And pregnancy is a beautiful time for things to come up. It might not feel like that at the time, but it's an opportunity for you to look at it, shift it, align with the direction you actually want to go now, so that you're headed in a trajectory you want, instead of keeping going on autopilot or letting things escalate to a place that you don't want it to escalate to. So that is the gift of things and clutter coming to your awareness in pregnancy. Probably things came up in the first trimester for you that you had to work through and figure out how you're going to navigate that. And then in your second and third trimester, same thing. And what you can do is you can start bit by bit, thought by thought, anxious moment by anxious moment, start to bring yourself back to you, start practicing more and more, becoming aware of the thoughts or the stories or the narratives around postpartum or new motherhood, or what this transition means for you or your family. Start paying attention to the stories and narratives you're taking in from other people, whether it's your friends, mom groups, social media, and just start to become aware of what you want to be for you and what you don't want to be for you. And go through that mental clearing, decluttering process by just becoming aware of what's going on up there, and then start to align yourself with how you want to feel. Start to align with thoughts that feel more peaceful, more joyful, more like you, more like the experience you want to create. And you are gonna see so many benefits from this postpartum, because think of all the space you will have cleared out to simply be present with and enjoy your new baby. And think of the tools you will now have to shift out of anxiety, shift out of spiraling, just by making it a practice in pregnancy to be aware of your thoughts and shift into something better. And if you're like, Emma, this sounds amazing, but like, how do I do that? You can check out my program. I actually have an entire program called My Lighter Motherhood, and that is exactly the work that we do together. We start to align your inner world with a more peaceful, joyful, present postpartum, where even when the hard parts show up, even when the anxiety pops up, even when the impact of sleep deprivation or whatever pops up, you come back to your power fast, and you feel more like yourself and more like the version of you, the mum in you, that gets to really enjoy and soak in this entire chapter, because I believe we all deserve that. All right, let me know if you liked this episode. I cannot wait to hear your stories about your decluttering experiences. I will link that book for you in the description. I will link My Lighter Motherhood for you in the description. And I cannot wait to see those of you who step inside there and to support you through this incredible chapter of your life. Okay, my loves, thank you. Love you, and I'll see you in the next episode.